Little blade, no problem. Because of its design, let me show you how many uses you could get out of this thing. What's up, guys? This is Joe from JS Bladecraft. Thank you for joining me on another knife review video. So let's get some specs out of the way first. This is a 2.75 inch RPM 9 drop point blade. It's got a black PVD coating, 3-tone finish, which is really cool looking. Orange anodized thumb studs, double obviously, orange pivot collar. Closed, it's about, well, the handle is about 3.86 inches. It's got a 2-tone G10 textured handle, all black hardware, and the designer of this knife is Savannah Swaggerty, or affectionately known as Swags. So guys, aesthetically, I love the look of RoseCraft Blade knives. I really do. I just look at that handle, that 2-tone textured handle G10, very smooth finish, very grippy in the hand. It's got 3-tone black PVD finish. It's just an attractive looking knife, and you know, just the accents of the orange pivot collar and the thumb studs, it just makes for a really good, for me anyway, aesthetically pleasing knife, good feeling knife. That's one of the things I look at first. Before the knife even works, I have to like the look of the knife. And I do like the look of this knife and the look of basically Swag's designs. I mean, it's a great design, which you're going to see in this video. The deployment is excellent. It's got a front flipper, which I don't normally like front flippers, but it kind of just works on this knife. But you can easily deploy it from the thumb studs very easily. But it's got some good motion, obviously ceramic ball bearings, so it's very smooth, as a lot of RoseCraft knives are. So there's no hesitation. It opens and closes, very soft, very snippy, and it just works. It works in the hand. Now, the one thing about this knife, guys, as you can see, holding it as a 3-finger grip, if you have large hands, it works. But when you slide your finger or your front index finger over to that really generous finger choil, it completely changes the whole dimension of this knife. It's like kind of having a razor blade securely in your hand to having complete control over the sharp cutting edge and the point of this knife. And you notice how much real estate now you have in the handle when you utilize that finger choil that was designed into this knife. And it's a great design as it is, Swags. And, you know, I give you a lot of credit for taking, you know, a small blade, adding that finger choil, and really turning into something that can be extremely useful in many different situations. So after I first put it in my hand, I'm like, this knife is a little too small. The handle could be a little bit bigger. But again, as soon as you utilize that finger choil, it completely changes this knife, and it opens up so many possibilities of having something sharp in the pocket, doesn't take up room, and it could come out and do many different tasks for you. You can see, obviously, the reverse grip. Holding it also with from your pinky with the finger choil, you have a little resting position for your thumb. So that's another position you could use the finger choil with as well, using your pinky. So it's, again, the 3-finger grip works. And most people who don't have very large hands could probably get 4 fingers on the handle. It's not that small, but it just adding that finger choil completely changes it. Again, some more close-ups of this knife. I love the look of it. Now, it's called the Pocket Monster, but it's honestly really a just good pocket tool. Understand is the fact that it is not a very hard use knife, which a lot of RoseCraft blades are not meant to be hard used. Other than the Mohawk, I would probably, and maybe the Ajunta with the frame lock is a little stronger, but for the most part, they're not meant to be hard use knives, but just great tools to have in the pocket to do a multitude of different tasks, sharp looking, and just great designs that, you know, in each in its own individual way, fit very, very comfortably in the hand. So I'm going to show you a couple different things that I did with it, just to show you how useful the knife could be in terms of how it was designed and really how much of a difference that finger choil makes. Here's some simple dinner prep here. So if you wanted to have something in your pocket, even if you're camping and you need to cut up some garlic to fry it up so you can make that homemade tomato sauce, because even if you're camping, you still got to have pasta. It'll definitely handle it. You can see the fine slices it's making, and it does a great job in basically giving you a lot of control over the sharp edge and the point of the tip to be able to do these really nice fine cuts on the garlic. And you will not be lacking having some good tomato sauce, having a good dish of pasta, even if you're outdoors camping, when you have this little thing in your pocket.
Tell me, old chef for the future, can it core apple?
Oh, it can core apple.
Good.
Sure, Ralph, it may be able to core an apple, but honestly, this is a great lunch prep knife where if you have some fruit in your pocket, you want to peel up an apple, you want to cut up an orange or take the skins off an orange, cut up some carrots. It's just such a nice form factor size to be able to do these little small tasks like just cutting up an apple. You know, something simple that you don't think to do. You know, with a knife, it's something in your pocket that's waiting to be used in terms of this type of task for like lunch preps. The normal tests I do with the knives is just test the frame lock, the actual liner lock, and see how good it holds up to like some high pressure tests. And the cutting of the edge, it did a pretty good job. Not as good as obviously some bigger knives, but it did definitely cut through it. And the liner lock held up with some stress, and it did a nice clean cut. So that failed pretty well. Push cuts on this thick electric cord with the 3 copper inlay. It did well with that as well. Again, always having control of the tip in your hand. And then just doing some good, you know, fine wood prep. And this is just, I actually cut a lot of this wood with some bigger knives, but I found that with this detailed work and really trying to get a really nice fine point, whether it be maybe some sharp spears if you're outdoors, or if you want to get some put up a tent and have some spikes made up, I found that I was able to get some really nice fine work to get that really fine point on this piece of wood to be able to do tasks like that when you're outdoor camping. So it's a good reserve knife to have for some fine tasks, having good control of the tip with that finger choil, and you can see what a nice job it did there. Now, what I like about the black PVD coated finish is the fact that it doesn't mar that easily, and it just stays nice. Everything kind of, you know, goes off nice and smoothly on that, so you don't have that staining on there where you have with a bare steel blade. So I like that PVD coated finish for that reason. And of course, listen, letter opener, processing cardboard, cutting up some cardboard. All RoseCraft knives come very, very sharp out of the box, and that RPM 9 steel is also very easy to maintain and sharpen and bring that sharp edge back. So obviously you're going to be able to do a lot of that normal everyday stuff as an EDC with this knife, with cardboard, as a letter opener, or maybe cutting up those bills that you don't want to see. It does a good job with that. And again, having it sharp out of the box makes it possible to be able to do that, use it as an everyday EDC. And of course, lighter knot. Basically using this knife to also process some lighter knot or some fat wood, however you want to call it. Some nice curls there. And again, having reliability in your hands and having a lot of control over the tip has you, it makes it possible to use it for processing lighter knot and having some really nice fine curls. Maybe you could use this in the beginning just to kind of get those really fine curls to get it going, and use a bigger knife to kind of finish up the job. So again, if you wanted to process wood with it, it can do that as well. So coming to the end of this, guys, it didn't need to be long, but I just want, hopefully I was able to show you having a 2-inch blade on a knife doesn't make it a bad knife. It just opens up a whole different line of new possibilities of what you could use this knife for some smaller tasks, for some things that you don't want to carry a big knife for, and just having an overall really good EDC with good control in your hand. Now, the design of this knife is what makes this knife shine in terms of that generous finger choil, that textured G10 grip, the really nice sharp blade, the black PVD coated finish. It's an attractive knife, and it has a lot of uses despite its form factor or its size. You don't need a big knife for every single task that you may need a knife for in your pocket. So hopefully I was able to show that to you in this video. And I don't mention it all the time, guys, but listen, don't forget our veterans. Hashtag 22 a day, no more. Zero, anything over zero is always too much. So don't forget our veterans. And that's just basically saying, vets, you have a place here always. And we treasure your service. So that's all I have for you guys. This is Joe from JS Bladecraft. So much appreciated, and thank you for joining me on yet another video. I'll see you on my next sword or knife review. And good job, Swags. Good job, RoseCraft Blades, for kind of just thinking out of the box and coming up with a really good use knife in a small form factor and just making everything work. Have a good one, guys. Love and respect each and every one of you. See you when I see you. Ciao.